Wagwan everybody, Fikod the man here. Today we're here to discuss yet another Destiny 2 leak. This time it's about Destiny 2's second confirmed expansion. Now I must warn you before we get started, potential spoilers ahead. Okay, so this leak surfaced on Reddit from an unknown source just days after Destiny 2's first expansion was leaked, but this time in even more detail. The Reddit thread revealed that the DLC is apparently going to be called the Tyrant's Crypt, and it's going to be similar in size to Destiny 2's first expansion, if not slightly larger. According to the leak, the description of the expansion is this: with the Speaker's heresy revealed and the threat of a second faction war looming over the few surviving humans, Lord Saladin has found a way to prevent the coming of a second Dark Age. But it has a price. Go to the Manhattan nuclear zone, find the Warmind Sademon, and steal from him the truth about what really caused the collapse. So that's really interesting. Let's dissect that just a little bit. So the heresy of the Speaker, that means he's a heretic. Do we know what that is yet? Maybe not. Does that mean he was in league with the Cabal? Well, potentially. The idea of a faction war, are we going to see people like Lysander returning, a character that was sort of hinted at in Destiny 1? Again, we'll have to see. And then finally, Lord Saladin is returning, and he's saying we have to go to the Manhattan nuclear zone, so a new destination set on Earth in New York. Apparently the expansion is going to introduce a new patrol area called the Manhattan Nuclear Zone, which is going to be Destiny's smallest ever patrol zone, but also at the same time its largest. Just like real life Manhattan, the nuclear zone is going to be filled with towering skyscrapers, but also deep caverns, meaning it's going to have the largest square footage of any patrol zone ever in Destiny. It's left in ruins after a global flood and nuclear testing, but it's still home to the Warmind Sademon. The expansion is apparently also going to introduce an extension to the planet Io called the Asimov testing site. With these two new areas will come a brand new enemy race called the Boyer, which will be a combination of Fallen Seaver, Frames, and a new enemy race called the Vitrel, which are described by the source as liquid metal entities bound together by electromagnets. The second expansion will also introduce a whole plethora of activities, including 4 new strikes, 4 Crucible maps, 1 new raid, and a new 4-player arena activity called Charlemagne's Labyrinth, which is apparently going to combine PvE and PvP elements, which sounds very cool. We should also expect new adventures, lost sectors, story missions, and gear. So this all sounds great. A lot more interesting than the first expansion, if I'm going to be honest. It seems to be centered more around the war mines and the pre-collapse humanity, which is all really intriguing. The idea of a faction war excites me a lot. Are we going to see humanity go into war against itself? Will we have to pick a side? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but there's so many routes for Bungie to go down with this faction war idea. The faction wars were a turning point in the history of Destiny's universe, so seeing them potentially unfold again should be very cool. Adding new areas to explore is always welcome, especially places on Earth. More Earth destinations is something I've asked for since Destiny 1. Exploring the ruins of Manhattan is gonna be amazing. And I'm really intrigued by this new arena mode, combining PvP and PvE in a sort of Prison of Elders style game. Ugh. If this is all true, then Bungie are taking a massive step in the right direction in terms of expansions. They seem to be telling what sounds like a great and epic story, but also providing some history and lore along the way. I can't wait to find out the reason behind the collapse. That's something that was never really explained, so hopefully the expansion is going to elaborate on that. And I'm also really excited to see the faction war and the war mines play out. But they're just my thoughts, guys. What I now really want to know is, what do you think? Tell me in the comment section down below, do you believe this leak? If so, what do you think? Does it sound good or not? Tell me in the comment section down below. I always love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. As always, guys, I'll have my sources linked in the description. Make sure you check them out yourself as they go into greater detail than I did, and then give this video a share to get the news out into the world and to your friends. Of course, I have to recommend you take all this info with a pinch of salt. As I said earlier, this is from an unofficial leak with no source reference, so this could all be made up, but I have to say it is really convincing. But on that note, guys, that about wraps up today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Once again, I tried to get as much info into this video as possible, so if you appreciate that, then a positive rating in the form of a like would be greatly appreciated. And of course, if you want more Destiny 2 news videos like this from me, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell next to subscribe to be notified on my uploads, and then you won't miss a thing. In addition, if you want to stay updated with my social media, then my Twitter, Instagram and Google Plus are all linked in the description. But in the meantime, I want to thank you very much for watching and for showing me loads of support. I am very grateful, and I'm also called Fikod the Man, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh.